Java interface is a further specialization from abstract class. Remember that in abstract class you can add the abstract method. The abstract method means the method without the body part of the definition. So if you define an interface, all you can give is abstract method. So we have a return type, name of the method, parameter list, and then no curly brace, no body part. So this is a abstract method by definition in Java. So interface takes a abstract method. In addition to that, interface can have a constant. In Java, we use a keyword final to define constant. So here, in instance, interface, you can define constant like that. But since you cannot give a instant member variable to the interface, so we don't have to give a keyword final. Keyword final is implied, assumed that. So apparently it looks like a variable, integer member variable, but it is not because it's inside the interface. So that's another thing you can add into interface. The first abstract method, the second the constants without the keyword final. By the way, in Java rule is that interface all members are public, so you don't give a public explicitly. So there's no other choice. All members are explicitly public. So let's test for constant in main. So I can do system.out.println saying that vehicle.id, which is just a constant, and the public static access is there. So if I run that, the ID of vehicle 3 is displayed. So you can have direct access to constant, which is public and static there. Then another thing you can add is a static method. You can give a static method in classes, then you can call the method without creating object. Similarly, in interface, you can add a static method, and you can call this method using interface name vehicle. So this method executes this hello world printing. So you can call that. Vehicle interface has a static method called the say. So if I run it now, hello world comes from say static method. So that's another thing you could give. And now let's implement vehicle interface car.java. There, let's implement vehicle interface. Then we know that a class that implements interface, the class should override all abstract method. A vehicle has one abstract method. Visual Studio Code has a helper there. Click on the class name, yellow light bulb, unimplemented method. So move is not implemented, so you can implement there. System.out.println car moved. Like that. Then in main, now I can create car object. Then the move method is printing message on the screen. So c1.move as I call move, and then if I run it, now car moved comes from car. So basically we can add three things: abstract method, constant, and static method. In addition to that, you can give another method called default method. After keyword default, you can define a method. Remember, all members are automatically public, so you don't have to give a public. And return type, and then method name, transport, and then parameter if you have, then return value is transported to direction. For example, something like this. So transport method is not abstract method because it has a definition, but if it has definition, it should be a default one. But the meaning of a default means the class that implements a vehicle, if it does not override the default method, then default method is simply available. So from C1, so message C1 dot transporter left, something like that. So we didn't define transport in car, but since a car is implementing interface a vehicle has a default method, then default method is available in car, so you can call it, then system dot out dot print ln m there, then run it. Transported to left is from default method in interface. Of course, in car, which implements a vehicle, you can override the default method as you want. Override public string transport string direction. So you can override that, then return override transporter. Just give some different message is there. Then default message in vehicle is overridden in car. So if you call transporter, the overridden method will be called. If I run it, now it's override transport comes. So once you override it, the default method is hidden, is not available. So earlier Java had only two members in interface, a constant and abstract method. Now new Java, you can add a static method and a default method.